Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Transition Table. My name is Megan Kearney,
And I'm Diane Hartz-Warsoff.
and today we're going to be talking about what it takes to build a business.
Yeah,
A very important topic.
yes. So there is a book written by John Warlow that's called Build to Sell. And it really is a mind shift for business owners because
Mhm.
when we talk about build to sell, we're not talking about only thinking of selling, but viewing your business as an investment rather than just an income stream. So you want to create a company that's attractive, that's transferable, and that you can scale because that is what will bring you the most value, whether you stay in the business or whether you sell or leave. And that's our goal at Exit Factor, is helping people achieve whatever that end goal is. Because like our president, Jessica Fiakovich, likes to say, everybody's going to exit their business. It just depends how.
True.
And I think we talk about a lot of these things, but having clean financials is always important. And one of the things we talk about clean financials, we talk about understanding your financials. But I think one thing that we don't talk about enough on an ongoing basis is keeping your business and your personal lives apart on the books. We all understand nobody likes to pay taxes. A lot of people get advice that see what you can run through the business to lower your tax burden.
Which I
However,
will say is all okay, but when you're looking to transition within the next, it could be 2 to 3 years, you want those books to be very clean.
also is that if you're running a lot of personal expenses through your business, it does have a negative impact on value because a
Mhm.
buyer and an M&A group, a financing group that would be looking to help fund the buyer doesn't like to see a lot of add backs of unrelated expenses. And if you talk to your accountant, there are ways that you can make it work. But for your operating business, it's really important to keep clean books. The next one is having a strong team and building a delegation structure. So we talk about empowering management, but if you don't have those people in place, find them, put them there, and see what you can do to help them help the business because that helps you in the long run. We also talk a lot about having the owner, having the business be reliant on the owner. And so if you don't have that team built, build it and find people. And then when you get the right people, do everything you can to make them want to stay. Also, a trans world broker, we have seen many instances where if the employees are treated well during a transition, they will stay on. So if you set that parameter up front, a buyer will find it much easier to know what it is that will keep your employees happy. And we've talked again, operations and organizational structure, have everything documented. It's really hard to have everything in your brain. As a business owner myself, I also find it really hard to delegate. So I think that is a very typical entrepreneurial mindset. And so if you can document things, it does make it easier for other people to work on those things. The next one is reduce your risk. Revenue diversification is really, really important. I once worked with a landscaping business and great business, but about 70% of their revenue, they did only commercial, and 70% of the revenue came from one of the big box stores. And the way they diversified that risk was that they worked with this company, allowed the local managers to negotiate the contract. So generally, it worked out very well that they were able to show that it was really 50 different contracts versus one big contract. However, on the payment side, this big box company pays at 90 days. So, from a cash flow standpoint, they had to figure out how to manage that because even though each contract was negotiated separately, the parent company was ultimately paying the bills. So, those are things to think about as well. And Another thing about diversifying revenue is if it's applicable in your business, do what you can to have recurring revenue. So, for example, if you're a gym, monthly payments, auto pay out of people's credit cards, that's like icing on the cake to a prospective buyer. And it's also icing on the cake for you because it creates predictable cash flow. And then the other thing is, what is your strategic value? And so we like to call it the secret sauce. What is it that differentiates your business from other businesses in the same field? I'll tell a funny story. Last night, I was at a networking group and I met a young woman who started a business and she makes the little rocks that go on climbing walls.
Wow.
And I said, what makes your business different? And she says, I use 3D printers and I take photos of actual rocks to use.
Wow.
I know it's very niche, but that's very different, right? It's something,
That's why I feel like working with business owners and people, you realize you're like, oh, that's a very needed thing in our life
right? Because
for like rock climbing.
if you're really rock climbing, you want to have the stones in the practice walls feel like real stones. So I thought
Mhm.
that was really cool.
That is.
And so I think everybody's got a secret sauce. Obviously, some companies have such a good secret sauce that they franchise the concept, but every business has something that makes them unique and leverage that and leverage the uniqueness beyond just the owner. And all of these things will help you build a strategic business. And it's, as we always say, I think we say this every week, Megan, it is never too early to start. And the other thing, the last thing I want to say is we say that it's never too early to start because if you implement these things now, you will reap the benefits now because your profitability will go up, your value will go up, your cash flow will go up, you'll have more time. These are all things that will help you now and create a business that you can leverage in the future to either sell or create something. And I think that's great, important.
Very spot on.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.